Very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Let us start with the headlines. 64% polling in fifth phase. Amid violence in the state, West Bengal sees a highest turnout of over 78%. Madhya Pradesh has a voter turnout of 69%. Jharkhand 65%. Rajasthan 64%. Campaigning for last two phases. Amit Shah to hold multiple rallies in West Bengal and Bihar. Rahul Gandhi to campaign in West Bengal and Jharkhand. Sister Priyanka in Haryana. SP BSP joint rally in Jaunpur in Uttar Pradesh. Won't allow trade deficit with China, warns US President Donald Trump. Says US losing $500 billion a year. Threatens a fresh tariff hike on $200 billion of Chinese imports. Global markets stumble. Char Dham Yatra begins today. Gangotri and Yamunotri shrines in Uttarakhand opened for public from today on Akshay Tritiya. Doors of Kedarnath to open on Thursday, Badrinath on Friday. And holy month of Ramzan commences today. Prime Minister Modi greets nation. Hopes the month will further the spirit of harmony and brotherhood in the country. First up, all the election-related news. Voting in the fifth phase of 2019 Lok Sabha polls concluded on Monday with an estimated total voter turnout of 63.87%, which is the lowest in all the phases so far. 51 seats across the 7 states went to polls in the fifth phase. Voting was held on 14 seats in Uttar Pradesh, 12 in Rajasthan, 7 seats each in West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh, 5 in Bihar, 4 in Jharkhand and 2 seats in Jammu and Kashmir. Uttar Pradesh recorded a total voter turnout of 57.93% for Phase 5 of the Lok Sabha elections. Bihar recorded a total voter turnout of 57.76%. West Bengal recorded the highest 73.97% voter turnout. Jharkhand registered 65.12%. Voter turnout in Madhya Pradesh was 68.98% and in Jammu and Kashmir it was 17.07%. Rajasthan recorded a total voter turnout of 63.73% in the fifth phase.
If you see how many number of people voted as compared to 2014 in 2019 for the first 4 phases, it is nearly 6 crore more number of voters have voted. So if I give you the exact number, 5.94 crore number of more voters have actually participated vis-a-vis 2014 in 2019 first 4 phases. So that shows that how much is the optimism and how much is the participation. And if I also would like to be very happy to share with you that the women voters have really come out in a big number, and in these 4 phases 20 crore number of women voters have actually voted. If you see the third gender, 6,389 number of third gender people they have participated. And if you see in absolute percentage figure for first 4 phases, the voting percent up to 4th phase is higher by 1.09%. So if you add all the 4 phases of 2014 and 2019, the increase voting percentage wise is 1.09%. I now come to the 5th phase, and in today's 5th phase, total number of 8.77 crore electors they were eligible today to participate in the 5th phase. If I give you the breakup, it is 4.63 crore male electors, 4.14 crores women electors, female electors, and 2,119 third gender. They were eligible to participate.
And sporadic incidents of violence were reported during polling on in the fifth phase of the Lok Sabha election on 7 seats of West Bengal as well as in Jammu and Kashmir. Incidents like clashes between TMC and BJP workers, hurling of bombs, injury of a candidate due to lathi charge by the central forces, manhandling of a contestant and beating up of a polling agent were reported in Barakpur, Hooghly, Bangaon and Howrah constituencies of West Bengal. In Barakpur, BJP candidate Arjun Singh was injured following a scuffle with TMC workers. The BJP accused Trinamool workers of booth capturing and not letting the BJP voters cast their votes by resorting to threats and violence. And in Kashmir, there was a grenade attack on a polling booth in Pulwama district. And according to police, militants lobbed a grenade towards Rumo polling station in Pulwama. Fortunately, there were no casualties reported in the blast. And with just 2 phases of Lok Sabha polls now left, political parties are getting all out to reach out to the voters. BJP chief Amit Shah will campaign in West Bengal and in Bihar today. He will address the public rallies in Ghatal and in Medinipur and Bishnupur Lok Sabha constituencies in West Bengal. All these 3 constituencies will vote in the 6th phase on 12th of May. And in Bihar, Amit Shah will hold public meeting in Patliputra Lok Sabha constituency. Remember, Patliputra will vote in the 7th and the final phase. And Congress President Rahul Gandhi is set to campaign in Jharkhand and West Bengal today. In Jharkhand, he will address a public rally in Chaibasa and will hold a roadshow in Dhanbad. Voting will be held on 4 Lok Sabha seats of Jharkhand, including capital Dhanbad and Jamshedpur, Girid and Singhbhum in the 6th phase on 12th of May. And Rahul Gandhi will also address a rally in West Bengal's Purulia district. And speaking about Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, she will campaign in Haryana today. She will address public meetings in Ambala and Hisar. She will also hold a roadshow in Rohtak in support of Congress candidate Dipinder Singh Hooda. And SP-BSP will hold a joint rally in Jaunpur in Uttar Pradesh today. All right, our colleagues are joining us from the ground on more details on the story. We have with us Navikram Singh, who is joining us from Lucknow. And we also have with us Ravindra Singh Shuran, joining us from Sirsa in Haryana. Coming to you first, Navikram, speaking about the Uttar Pradesh, of course, 14 seats will vote in the 6th phase. Of course, this includes key constituencies, Allahabad, where, of course, Rita Bahuguna Joshi is the BJP candidate. Also, Azamgarh, where Dinesh Yadav is up against Akhilesh Yadav. A very interesting contest likely to be seen in all these 14 seats. Navikram, can you hear me?
ऐश्वर्या, बिल्कुल इस जो चरण में और इसके अगले चरण में यानी 2 चरण जो बचे हैं उसमें बेहद दिलचस्प मुकाबला होने की उम्मीद है। खास तौर पर अगर जो सियासी लड़ाई की बात करें ऐश्वर्या, तो यहाँ पर पिछले जो चरण हुए हैं उसके मुकाबले ज़्यादा दिलचस्प सियासी लड़ाई है, क्योंकि अगर हम वोट शेयर की बात करें 2014 में तो यहाँ पर कई ऐसी सीटें हैं, चाहे वो गोरखपुर हो, देवरिया हो, फूलपुर हो, मिर्ज़ापुर हो, इन सब सीटों पर जो गठबंधन का वोट शेयर था वो बीजेपी के वोट शेयर से भी कम था। ऐसे में जो गठबंधन है उसे अपने काडर वोट, जो कोर वोटर है उससे कहीं आगे जाने की ज़रूरत पड़ेगी कई सीटों पर। तो गठबंधन के लिए भी एक चुनौती है, वहीं बीजेपी के लिए एक बड़ी चुनौती ये है क्योंकि आजमगढ़ को छोड़कर लगभग सभी सीटें बीजेपी ने जो आने वाले चरण है उसमें जीती थी। लेकिन जो बाद में उपचुनाव हुए, फूलपुर, गोरखपुर जैसी सीटों जो बड़े अंतर से बीजेपी ने जीती थी, वो उपचुनाव में बीजेपी हार गई। ऐसे में बीजेपी के सामने ये बड़ा संकट है जो उसको पहले 2014 में जो वोट शेयर मिला था उस वोट शेयर को एक बार फिर से पाना, और सपा बसपा का जो इस बार गठबंधन हुआ है, क्योंकि जो पहले सियासी लड़ाई थी वो एकदम अलग थी और अब एकदम अलग है। तो इस तस्वीर के बदलने के साथ ही उसे वोट शेयर अपना बढ़ाना भी होगा और अपने संगठन को और मजबूत करना होगा। कार्यकर्ताओं पर ज़्यादा उम्मीदें टिकी हैं पूरी भारतीय जनता पार्टी की। साथ ही सबसे अहम ये लड़ाई है प्रियंका गांधी के लिए, क्योंकि प्रियंका गांधी का भविष्य ये दोनों चरण तय करेंगे। उन्हें पूर्वांचल की जिम्मेदारी दी गई थी। पूर्वांचल पर जब वो कांग्रेस महासचिव बनाई गई तो फिर साथ ही प्रभारी बनाया गया। उन्हें पूर्वांचल की सीटों की जिम्मेदारी है। तो ऐसे में सियासी जो भविष्य है प्रियंका गांधी का, वो ये तय करेगा। अगर यहां से कांग्रेस बेहतर प्रदर्शन करती है तो निश्चित तौर पर प्रियंका गांधी में पूरी कांग्रेस संभावनाएं तलाशेगी। जी ऐश्वर्या।
Indeed, and after the fifth phase, now of course campaigning on for the rest of the two phases, and as far as the sixth phase is concerned, of course, UP will vote on 14 seats, very significant, as Navikram was telling us. And now let's go across to Ravindra Singh Shioran, who is joining us from Sirsa in Haryana. Very good morning, Ravindra. As far as Haryana is concerned, 10 Lok Sabha seats are voting, and of all these 10 seats, of course, Sonipat and Rohtak is, of course, drawing a lot of attention. At stake is the political future of Bhupinder Singh Hooda, who's the candidate from Sonipat, and also Dipinder Hooda, his son, who is in fray for a fourth straight victory in Rohtak.
Yeah, good morning, Aishwarya. You're right. Both the father and son duo, they are contesting from different seats of Rohtak and Sonipat. And these are the two seats the Congress party is quite banking upon that they can manage to win these two seats. But right now we are standing in the Sirsa. Sirsa is considered to be the home turf of the Chautala family. This seat has been retained. Many of the legislative council assembly seats has also been retained by the Congress party, by the Chautala family in this Lok Sabha constituency for a long time. But this time the election is quite different. The Chautala family, they have been bifurcated in two different political fronts. Both of them, they are contesting each other. But Sirsa is the constituency where the president of the Congress party, Ashok Tanwar, is contesting. The Chautala family's prestige is also at the stake. And also this is the constituency where the BJP's state president is also one of the MLA of one of the assembly segment of the Lok Sabha constituency. So this is also one of the most important seat where all the media and the people of the state are eyeing upon.
Yes.
Also, the Hisar constituency, which is the next to the Sirsa, that is also a very significant and important constituency where Bhajanlal's grandson, he is contesting against Chautala's grandson, and he is also contesting against the son of Cabinet Minister Viren Singh, who is contesting on a BJP ticket. So these are the prime important constituency where all the people are eyeing. And see, this is one of the elections, this only second election after no Lal, means Devilal, Bhajanlal or Bansilal. They are directly involved in the contest. Their families are contesting. In the last 2014 election, the BJP could manage to register facile victory in 7 constituencies of the Lok Sabha, which is first time happened in the history of the elections in Haryana. And that too could happen riding on the Modi wave. BJP this time is also quite confident. The leaders, we met a lot of leaders of the BJP, they are quite confident that they can improve their tally of the last time in this 2019 elections.
Absolutely.
But
and in
this is the make or break
Congress
election
was actually
for
wiped off
this fight
in
of
the
survival.
entire north belt. However, of course, Haryana was no exception, but the party did manage to retain the Rohtak seat. Of course, we have to wait and watch what happens this time. Thank you so much, Navikram and Ravindra Singh Shioran, for joining us and giving us all the updates from ground. Thank you so much. And on to some other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed mega rallies in West Bengal and Jharkhand on Monday. Addressing a public meeting in Tamlok, the Prime Minister hit out at West Bengal government for undermining democracy in the state. He said that the TMC government led by Mamata Banerjee was putting behind bars those who hail Jai Shri Ram in Bengal.
पश्चिम बंगाल में राम नाम लेना भी अपराध हो गया है क्या? अरे दीदी, राम जी के आगे अच्छों का अहंकार चूर चूर हो गया। आपका अहंकार कहां तक ठहर पाएगा? वामपंथियों का तो समझ में आता है। आपने तो इन्हीं वामपंथियों के विरुद्ध लड़ाई लड़ी थी। मां, माटी और मानुष ने आपको शक्ति दी थी। फिर आप जय श्री राम को कहने वालों को जेल क्यों भेजने लगी हो?
And the Prime Minister also accused West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee of pursuing cheap politics over Cyclone Phailin, claiming that she did not speak to him when he tried to contact her to talk about the calamity.
तृणमूल तोलाबाजी टैक्स से परिचित है। ये तृणमूल तोलाबाजी टैक्स ये है ट्रिपल टी टैक्स। कॉलेज में एडमिशन हो, टीचर की भर्ती हो या ट्रांसफर हो, लोग बताते हैं कि सब जगह तृणमूल तोलाबाजी टैक्स लगता है। पश्चिम बंगाल के अनेक स्कूलों में टीचर नहीं है। ट्रिपल टी के चलते अनेक स्कूल में पढ़ाने की बजाय कोर्ट के चक्कर लगा रहे हैं। बच्चों का भविष्य, पश्चिम बंगाल की आने वाली पीढ़ियों का भविष्य बर्बाद करने वाली सरकार को जब तक आप सजा नहीं देंगे वो सुधरने वाली नहीं है।
Prime Minister Modi also addressed a rally in Chaibasa in Jharkhand and hitting out at the opposition alliance. The Prime Minister said that the country needs a stable, decisive government and not a Mahamilavati Sarkar. And BJP President Amit Shah addressed multiple rallies in Bihar yesterday. Hitting out at the opposition alliance, Amit Shah said that they want to take Bihar back into the era of Jungle Raj, while the BJP wants Janta Raj in the state. He stressed that under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the centre and Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, Bihar has got a double-engine government that has brought about development in the state.
एनआरसी के तहत कहा इस देश में से घुस पिछले को निकालना, फिर से रावण बाबा मैदान में किनको मत निकालना। राहुल बाबा कान खोल कर सुन लो, आपके लिए वोट बैंक का सवाल हो सकता है, हमारे लिए इस देश की सुरक्षा का सवाल है।
And Congress President Rahul Gandhi on Monday addressed a public rally in Bhiwani in Haryana and accusing the government of failing to fulfill its promises. Rahul Gandhi said that the Congress's Nyay scheme will provide 72,000 rupees per month to 5 crore poorest of the poor families of the country till their income reaches 12,000 rupees per month.
एक किसानों का बजट बनेगा, एक नेशनल बजट बनेगा और किसानों का बजट पहले बनेगा भिवानी के किसानों। हम यहां आपको अपनी मन की बात बोलने नहीं आए हैं, हम आपका ऑर्डर सुनने आए हैं। अब ये माताएं बहनें बैठी हैं, मैंने आपसे पहले ही बोला देखिए, न्याय योजना का पैसा आपके बैंक अकाउंट में जाएगा।
And addressing a rally in New Delhi on Monday, Rahul Gandhi targeted the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party as well. He accused the NDA government of failing to fulfill its promises. Let's Let's get to some other news now. The Supreme Court on Monday stayed the disqualification proceedings against two AIADMK MLAs who were served notice by the Tamil Nadu Assembly Speaker for allegedly indulging in anti-party activities. A bench of Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi and Justice Deepak Gupta also issued notices on the plea filed by two AIADMK MLAs, both of whom were served notices under the anti-defection law by the Assembly Speaker of Tamil Nadu, P. Dhanapal. The Speaker had sought an explanation from both of them for allegedly siding with TTV Dinakaran, the leader of AMMK. And now an update on Cyclone Phailin. Well, the death toll due to the cyclone has risen to 35 in Odisha, 3 days after the storm battered through the coastal areas of the state. Lakhs of people are still grappling with water shortage and snapped power supply. Clamour for food is also growing. Unable to get water, groups of angry residents hit the streets at several places in the state capital. Demanding immediate supply of drinking water, thousands of demonstrators staged a road blockade at a number of locations, including Patia, Biju Patnaik, Kachak and Rasulgarh. Cyclone Phailin has also severely damaged the power infrastructure. As a result, a host of key sectors, including banking services, have come to a halt with long queues outside the ATMs and petrol pumps. Patient care in hospitals and works in private and government offices also remain paralyzed. More than 1,000 public health facilities have also been damaged in the cyclone, while more than 5,000 primary school buildings and 540 secondary school buildings have also been badly affected. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday conducted an aerial survey of the worst hit districts and adjoining areas of Puri and announced a 1,000 crore rupees financial assistance for the immediate relief and restoration works. This in addition to the 341 crore that the centre had released before the cyclone made landfall on Friday. The centre will also provide 2 lakh rupees for the families of the deceased and 50,000 rupees for those injured in the storm. And India and the US have agreed to engage regularly at various levels to resolve outstanding trade issues by exploring mutually beneficial, suitable solutions. The agreement was reached on Monday after a meeting between Commerce Minister Suresh Prabhu and his American counterpart visiting US Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross in New Delhi. A statement issued after the meeting said that both the sides agreed to deepen economic cooperation and bilateral trade by ensuring greater cooperation amongst the stakeholders, including government, businesses and entrepreneurs. Ross is visiting India to attend the 11th Trade Winds Business Forum and Mission hosted by the US Department of Commerce. And now an update on the US-China trade talks. Washington has accused Beijing of backtracking on a trade deal. US Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer made the remark on Monday, but he insisted that a deal is still possible. He said that China had tried to substantially change the text of an agreement between the two countries as it was nearing its final stages, adding that it was after China reneged on its promises that US President Donald Trump threatened to impose new taxes on Chinese imports. Earlier on Sunday, world markets sank following the US President's tweets, wherein he said that US would more than double tariffs on $200 billion of the Chinese goods on Friday and could also introduce fresh tariffs. He followed that on Monday by tweeting that the US has been losing $500 billion a year on trade with China. His tweet said, "Sorry, we are not going to do that anymore." After imposing duties on billions of dollars worth of one another's goods last year, the US and China have been negotiating. Last week, US Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin also held talks in Beijing, calling the talks as productive. And US Special Representative for Afghanistan, Zalmay Khalilzad, on Monday met External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj in New Delhi. Khalilzad briefed the minister about the ongoing Afghan peace process between the Taliban and the US in Doha. This is the second visit by Khalilzad to India this year after January. He has been holding talks with the Taliban in Doha to strike a deal to bring lasting peace and stability to war-ravaged Afghanistan. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar in a tweet said that both sides discussed the role of all regional stakeholders in bringing peace and development to Afghanistan, adding that India will work with the key partners in the coming days. And after spending more than 500 days, Myanmar today released two Reuters journalists who were jailed for their reporting on the Rohingya crisis from prison. Reporters Phailin and Kyaw So Do were released following a presidential amnesty. They were convicted of breaking the Official Secrets Act in September and were sentenced to 7 years in jail. Before their arrest, both had been working on an investigation into the killing of 10 Rohingya Muslim men and boys by the security forces and Buddhist civilians in western Myanmar's Rakhine state during an army crackdown that began in August 2017. And the fasting month of Ramzan began across the country today. The worshippers offered a special night prayers beginning last night, which will continue throughout the month. Ramzan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, and Eid ul-Fitr is celebrated at the culmination of this month. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted the people on the occasion. In a tweet, the Prime Minister hoped that the auspicious month furthers the spirit of harmony, happiness and brotherhood in the society. And that is a wrap on this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.